Of course, the interest rate was, people expected it to be bigger, but NSSF gave their reasons. One, they said the global markets have not been performing well. They also said there was medium-term access. Now, part of the medium-term access was intended to help people recover from COVID, but partly the conversation also went in enabling people to access their funds early and prepare for retirement, partly also building a house, which is the same conversation. Now, we need to see how do you manage the trade-off. Because if you are going to allow people to access mid-term, to go and begin building themselves houses, and then the interest rate is going down, then you begin to say, is somebody benefiting overall? Because ultimately, you would want somebody to benefit from both ends, that I can access mid-term, do some investment to actually build myself a house before retirement, but that should not come at a cost that now the overall return on investment is going to go down. We are hoping that besides the effect of the mid-term, if the global and local economy stabilize, the rates will go back possibly to 12%, so that people can have both ends of what they want to do. Access mid-term, build their houses, but also still get a good rate. Now, those are challenges of policy, the challenges of a global economy that NSSF finds itself in, along with its members. But bottom line, you would say it's a good trend. This is the first line we are seeing this, because it was the first time. And we would hope that going forward, there will be some improvements, both in the economy and in the policy design and its implementation, to ultimately benefit a Ugandan decent worker to get a decent housing. Thank you. Yeah, of course, even when you look at the return on investment, most people do not know that the fund may be as big as 17 trillion. But there are quite a number of people who have very small amounts in the fund. So for them, the conversation of whether the rate of return, the interest rate was 10% or 15%, it really doesn't add much value to them. And we need to be mindful that social protection, which includes housing, which includes social services, is beyond NSSF. So the conversation of what is Uganda's social protection policy? What is Uganda's social protection strategy? Beyond employees, both in the public sector of a public pension, in the private sector who have NSSF, and now they have introduced the voluntary. There are so many people out there in the communities. Typical farmers, typical traders in the formal and informal economy who do not have any social protection plans and strategies and arrangements that are really leveraging the input from government. So we need to take this conversation broader and wider, but also now we are getting into a conversation of property rights. We have seen people's houses being destroyed and demolished because of land grabbing. Now, you don't want to help somebody or somebody to struggle and build their house, and when you wake up one morning and somebody says, you're sitting on my land. And then we clearly see somebody destroy their house and their livelihood. This is a 60-year-old person. They may even be 30 or 40, but they are not going to go back and rebuild that house. You've really demolished their livelihood. So we need to look at the broader span of how do you secure the interest of the Ugandan citizen. And we're looking at the average to below average citizen, who really, if disrupted, may never recover their lifestyle. We have seen some of them commit suicide. We have seen some of them, all sorts of problems that they are facing. So how can we best secure the Ugandan across all the different spectrums of their livelihoods and their lives both now and in the future?